Hello, everybody, and welcome to Libromancy, a podcast about the magic of books. I'm Josh, and today I'm going to be reviewing kind of all the books that I've read / went over this year. So let's review this year of books. So first off, it was a really good year for me. I was able to read a lot of books, a lot for the podcast, a lot for myself, and I just wanted to kind of talk about them in general and kind of show everybody where my books have fallen this year, and hopefully what we're going to be covering at least for part of next year. So I used the Tiermaker and I uploaded a bunch of covers because that was pretty easy. And let's start with the lowest of the low, the DNF. This year I have DNF'd exactly one book, and it was the Tyrant Baru Cormorant. Now, I'm sure you guys all remember why I DNF'd that one, but just in case you don't, it felt like the protagonist had no real ability to affect any change or to make her own decisions, and they kept using the word cancer, and just turned me off completely. I really struggled through it. Then, in my F category, I have the Monster Baru Cormorant, which is the second, where Tyrant is the third book in the series. So I really didn't like that series after the first book. I thought the first book, Traitor Baru Cormorant, was very good, very well done, very good setting. Our protagonist has lots of interesting choices, beautifully well done. That one I actually put in the B category because it was a little long and it probably could have been shorter. But also in the Fs, I have A College of Magics by Caroline Stevermer. That was a book. Yep, that's what it was. Don't read it. I didn't enjoy it. You might like it if you really enjoy a girl going to school and trying to be proper and learning not about magic, but about something. So, maybe if you're like Regencies, you'd like it a little more, which I learned this year that I don't really like Regency novels at all. Okay, let's move on to the D category. And, even when it's a D, that means I didn't like it, but I did finish it. So, now let's see. I actually have both Jade City and Jade War in the D category by Fondly. I'm sure some people love them. I definitely didn't. Could not really sympathize with a bunch of the characters. And the way it keeps coming back to one of the characters. I want to spoil it if you haven't listened, but it just doesn't make any sense. He's not a good character. And then I also put Harrow the Ninth in D. It was a fine book. It was way too confusing compared to Gideon the Ninth. Harrow the Ninth, it just explodes it, and then there's even more confusion. So, not my favorite now. And I also put I Want Superpowers by Stephen Zelazny in here. It was not the worst book. I definitely have it above Jade City and Jade War, but just the story itself didn't really hook me. I would want more, and it seems to be a standalone. So that's all. Now in the C category, I do have Gideon the Ninth. So I did enjoy it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was too long by half, and I know the circumstances regarding its creation. That doesn't mean it can't be shortened up a little bit when it actually makes it into, ebook and such, that you want to tidy that up and make it better. So, and then I also threw almost all of the Fred the Vampire Accountant series in this category. Not because they're bad, but because they are great popcorn reads. They're each short stories, 5 short stories in each book. You can read a short story, put it down, read a short story, put it down. They're fun, they're silly, they sometimes have, pretty good moral spots and thoughts behind them, but they're just a fun series. So, straight C, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, everybody has to read this, or it was the best book I read. But they were great fun, and they're short, so totally hits the mark for me there. Then I also put Don't Marry the Cursed, which is I don't remember what the series name for that one is, but it's the sequel to Don't Date the Haunted, which I did really enjoy. Now, it's a C. It was good. Could have been better a little bit. I felt like the sequel just didn't match as well as the original. And then I also have 2 sequels, One Fell Sweep and Sweep in Peace of the Innkeeper Chronicles. And again, not any fault of their own. I just didn't feel like they really ranked up there in the high category of books. So let's go to the Bs. Now, remember, the difference between A and B, and to be honest, C is very small. So just because it's a B doesn't mean it was bad. It means it was good. So I said earlier I have the Tyrant Borrowed Cormorant in here. I love the Tyrant Borrowed Cormorant. It starts strong. We have a great, amazing main character. She is smart. She's always working things to her advantage. It is excellent. And I never felt like our character, while she can be an unreliable narrator, I never felt disappointed or tricked by the unreliable narrator, if that makes sense. Whereas some books that I've read, something will happen. You're like, well, why didn't the main character, think about that or know that was about to happen before it happened? Things like that. So I also have the Unspoken Name in the B category. I thought it was a great, great first book to the series, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I think it probably would have made A if another book had been out, depending on how good that series is. So, and then I also have, Holy Sister. Yeah, Holy Sister. It was an interesting end to that series. I think the way it played out just kind of puts it a little lower for me than the Gray Sister or Red Sister, which are both A's. Phenomenal world building by Mark Lawrence. Great system. Great characters. I just felt like Holy Sister was a little bit lower. The Obsidian Tower, I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the sequel to that by Melissa Caruso. And I really liked that one. The different perspective from her previous series that we see, and that made it a lot of fun. All right, we're going to move into my A's. These are some of my top reads for the year. I definitely have the Black Tongue Thief up there by Christopher Bullman. Now, this is the first book of his I've read, and I really loved it. I think he's got a great way with prose. He's got a great way with storytelling. It was unique and just kind of different than what is normally being done, and I thought that was pretty amazing. A little bit of horror aspect, a little bit of, a lot more fantasy, so I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking forward to the next books that come out, and hopefully I can get to a couple more of his this year as well. Now, in this category, I also have Thunderhead and The Toll, both by Neil Shusterman. They're part of the Arc of a Scythe series, and I put Thunderhead above The Toll. The Toll, I think, is the weakest of the 3 books for me. I think it works very well, and his prose and writing style still shines through. But I really liked Scythe, and I really liked Thunderhead, and I thought those were much better than The Toll. And obviously The Toll is not bad, just the characters and the story structure, I felt Scythe and Thunderhead were better. I already mentioned that I have Red Sister in the A category, and I also have Lord of Light by Robert Zelazny. So Roger Zelazny. I can't believe I misread that name. Just pretend like I didn't. So, the Lord of Light was a great book. It's definitely deserving of a reread when I can get around to it. There is just so much that I know I'm missing, but I haven't had the time to go back and reread it. So I'm really looking forward to going back to reading that one. Now, one of my last A picks I'm going to talk about is the Obelisk Gate, the second book in the Broken Earth series. Now you might be thinking, why is that one so much lower? It's only A versus the, super cream of the crop S tier. I just didn't like some of the characters in Obelisk Gate. That's really all it boils down to. So, hate all you want. That's what it is. Now, for the best books I read this year, Obviously, I have to have the 5th season and the Stone Sky on there. Those were amazing, incredible books. Very well written, very engaging characters for the most part. Just a beautiful, amazing book. Yes, sometimes they can feel a little preachy, but it's a good preachy. It's a good book. So, the next one, Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Wow, Scythe is amazing. I really enjoyed it. You can definitely read this one just as a standalone if you want to finish the series. It works. I thought his prose and his writing style were very unique to him and very good. I put the Fall of Babel in this category because it's the end of a series and I so rarely get to the end of series. So I really enjoyed that. The story was good. The tricks and turns, as you look back, you can really see, oh my gosh, I can see all of this, how it's unfolding. So, and then my final one in the S tier, I have to put 3 Parts Dead by Max Gladstone. I really like the Craft series. I can't read it too much in a row because it hurts my brain, but it's a great series and I love reading about them. So that's it. That's most, if not all, the books I read this year. I post a link to the Tiermaker list so you can kind of see it and move them around as you want and tweet back at me if you'd like. So I had a great year and I wanted to just talk about a couple books that I want to read next year. I will read Jade Legacy and I'll probably hate it, but I will read it and put it there. I'm also planning on reading the Alex Varus series by Benedict. It's 12 books right now, I think, and it's finished. I've read the first couple. I've very much enjoyed them. It's going to be a great series. This year, I'd also like to read some Terry Pratchett. I'm not sure exactly yet where we'd be starting, but that's on the list, and I'm really excited to do that. And I'm also looking forward to reading Greatcoats, the Greatcoat series by Sebastian de Castell. It's a 4-book series, and I'm also, I'm going to see what happens, what comes out that I want to read and review then. So if you have any good suggestions that you think I'd like or dislike, send me a link somehow and I'll see if I can fit it in and we can talk about it. So this episode's going to be a little short, but thanks anyway for listening, everybody. That's going to kind of wrap up the review of books and the look forward to the future. So thanks to David Hillowitz for the intro and outro music. Please leave a review and a rating wherever you listen to your podcast. It always helps more people find it, and it helps the ratings go up. So if you have any questions or comments, you can always send me an email at libromancypod@gmail.com. And remember to review the magic of books.